Today is going to be a mini day in the life and a full arm day explained with the lean mass method and the current split that I'm currently following. Explain exactly why I train arms the way that I am, how I structure it, why I structure it in that way, and why and how it is going to get you gigantic arms. Okay, I'm on my way to do my faster cardio. This is the plan for the morning. I'm gonna do some faster cardio. I'd say about 20, maybe a bit extra, 30 minutes today. Gonna go do it on the beach, which is awesome. And then I'm gonna go head for breakfast. I'm also gonna be showing you guys exactly what I eat when I eat out, okay? The days that I am like late on time, or I don't have time rather, and I need to make a substitute, right? The types of foods that I will go to make sure that I still stay on track and I still get to where I want to get to with regards to my goals. So that's basically what the day is going to be looking like. Hit the beach, hit some breakfast. I got to get back. I got some client calls that I could do, onboarding calls. A bunch of new guys joined the lean mass method. We got some guys in there that are business owners, entrepreneurs, so that is awesome. That's a nice thing about the lean mass method. The only guys that I take on, because I'm very, very specific with who I work with, and those are the people that align with me, right? The people that set themselves to a higher standard, the people that are willing to put in the work, the people that do not just expect change to happen with putting in a half-ass effort. So that's going to be done today. Then I will go do an arm day later, then do a bunch of stuff on the house. But I think I'll cut it at the arm day. But gonna be an awesome day today. The weather's looking okay for now. It's nice and warm. But there's one thing I wanted to point out today. So yesterday, every Friday, I do a Q&A on my Instagram. And yesterday in particular, or today, I'm gonna be answering them on Insta. But someone asked me a question saying, do I hate fat people? So hopefully that's not an accusation, and it is actually just a question. And hate is a very strong word, okay? I don't hate fat people, not at all. I don't have an issue with fat people. What I don't like, however, is people who complain, bitch, and moan about a specific situation, even when they've got full control on that situation, okay? I don't like people who are overweight and who are unhealthy, who continuously complain about how shitty they feel, right? Of how insecure they are with their looks, about, you know, whatever pills and drugs that they're on to help with their anxiety or whatever the case may be, right? I just don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. Like, I don't like people that bitch and complain in general. I used to bitch and complain all the time about my situation. I used to be skinny as shit, 58 kgs. My peak weight was 109 kilos, and I'm currently probably sitting on 101, but that's, we're going to find out tomorrow with regards to the check-ins, which you guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys are following along, the lean mass method, how I'm implementing it myself. I'm going to show you all that. But no, I have no hatred to fat people whatsoever. I just don't like it when people bitch and complain about situations that they have full fucking control over, you know. And I've had a lot of friends about that, you know. They complain that they can never get a girl, you know, they're too tired, they don't want to walk. I'm like, dude, you fucking going eating out 5 times per week, you don't give a shit about your health, you have low confidence because you have no respect for yourself to begin with, and you wonder why no one else has that same respect to you, because you bitch and complain. Literally, I had a friend who just fucking complained 24/7. He used to come to me and like, yeah, it's easy for you to say, you can, like, girls come to you and talk to you, because, and I'm like, dude, people come to me, and not even girls, like guys as well, out of respect, because they see the effort that goes into getting this physique, right? And how I show up in other aspects of my life. Recently, I've had a lot of people come to me and say, like, they love what I'm doing on social. So that's like really nice. Like, I'm providing motivation, right? It is attractive to put in effort, right? It doesn't even have to be in your physique. Anywhere in life. When I look at someone that's wealthy, right? someone that's rich, I look up to someone like that because I know that person has spent years building his knowledge, has spent years going through failures, trial by errors to get there. And that's the respect. I don't have respect because they fucking drive a Lamborghini. I respect them because I know the effort and the work that goes into that. And it's the same shit with your physique, right? To obtain a physique like this, to stick to a meal plan, that shit takes discipline. And discipline is attractive, right? That shows that you can push through hard times. That shows that you can be a fucking relentless dude, right? And that's what I aspire to be. Someone who can push through any battle that I face, any obstacle that I face, and when failure does happen, I don't give up, right? I look at it in a different light and I say, shit, okay, this is a lesson that I learned, this is what I'm going to perfect, and this is what I'm going to change. So long story short, I don't hate fat people, okay? Do I promote unhealthy habits? No, I don't. Like, I'm not a fan of that. I don't understand how that even gets to that point. But no, I don't hate fat people. Hate is again, is a very strong word. I really, really dislike people that bitch and moan about a situation that they put themselves in, and they complain continuously and they wonder why they feel that way. Like, come on, the proof is in the pudding. So that is my take on that. But slightly heated. It's not that I'm heated, it's not that I'm angry, I'm just passionate. This is how I speak sometimes when I try and get a point across. But let's go cool down, go hit a nice fast walk. I'll show you guys what it looks like on the beach. I'm actually gonna go meet a mate of mine and we're gonna go out for breakfast as well, grab a coffee. Then I'm back, hopping on those calls, super excited. Gonna be a good day. So that is faster cardio done for the day. I'm stunning at the beach. Yalla habibi. Now we're gonna go eat for breakfast. Okay, so this is what we got for breakfast: 4 eggs, 2 slices of sourdough, still sticking to the meal plan whilst out. Okay, so that is what I have for breakfast when I decide to go out and eat, or if I'm stuck in this position where I can't get to my specific meals, right? It's exactly the same as I have on my meal plan: 4 eggs, 2 slices of sourdough toast. Okay, and you know, sometimes it is difficult to stick to the meal plan or to get to your meals, whether it be you got work, you're out, you're with friends, but you need to take the initiative. You need to have that intention to still show up as best as you possibly can, and that is sticking to your meal plan as best possible. If you are going to go out, like if you are at work or whatever it might be, instead of going to something like McDonald's or some shitty Chick-fil-A or whatever, go and find a place that's got good whole foods and that can cater for something closer to your meal plan, and then you can still stay on top of it, and now it's not going to be detrimental and it's still going to move you forward. Let's go. Alright, so got my calls done, people sorted, clients are ready and ready to kill it next week. Got some interesting guys that have joined, so it's gonna be really cool, and you guys can obviously follow along with that on Instagram. I'm gonna be posting all of my clients' transformations, all of their journeys, everything that they're struggling with. Maybe you guys relate to the same type of thing and you can implement basically what they do, what I'm giving to them, and what they're paying for. If you use it in the right way and you implement it and you actually do the stuff, then you'll get fairly far just by the content and the value within the content that I'm giving. But I'm literally on my way to the gym now. Had my pre-workout meal, I'm pumped, I'm excited, gonna hit a nice arm day. Now unfortunately, I lost my mic. Okay, so the camera's mics are missing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a voiceover explaining each exercise, the reps, the sets, how I structure it, why I structure it, why you should structure it that way to get monster arms and just to have everything be at the top, right? So it can be super beneficial. You can basically be optimal. But I'll take you guys through that now. Then after the workout, I'm gonna go hit a cheat meal. I'm not having a dinner for dinner, I'm having for lunch instead, because my dad has come to visit. So we're gonna go watch the rugby at a restaurant and have some food. I'll see what that is. It's probably gonna be something like a pizza or a pasta, something good. And this is good because I'm having it straight after the workout, so the food is going to shuttle really, really nicely. But I'll catch you guys later. Okay, so let's get started. So I'll always start off my arm days with triceps. The reason why I start off with triceps, because if you start with biceps, you'll get a big bicep pump and you won't get that full extension on a tricep movement like this. Now, the first exercise I'll begin with is a cable rope tricep extension. Now, the reason for this is because it's more of like a warm-up set. I can push blood into the muscle really, really well. I'll aim 2 sets for 15 reps. Another thing that you notice is I have actually taken a handle, which you'll use for something like a back row, and I've put the ropes through that. The reason why I do this is because I get a much better contraction on my triceps, because now my hands are wider apart, focusing that contraction way more on the triceps. Whereas if they're closer apart, what tends to happen is my body actually gets in the way of the movement itself. So just doing a small implementation like this makes a hell of a difference. Now, once I've completed the first exercise, which remember is going to be like a warm-up exercise to get blood pushed to that specific muscle group, right? Just to warm up the joints as well, I'll move onto more of a compound lift, a heavier lift, and in this case, it's close grip barbell tricep press, okay? I'll do a nice heavy weight. This was about 100 kilos, I think that's 220 pounds, just to get that good heavy movement going for those triceps. Now this is going to be a really good builder. I'll do 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps on this specific exercise. Now this drink that I'm busy shaking up, that is my intra workout drink. I will sip on this with every single session I have. That is a mix between creatine, amino acids, as well as highly branched cyclic dextrin, or a carb source of sorts. This is just going to give me energy so that I don't just fall flat midway session. There's nothing worse than going into a session with intention and you don't have that energy. So I'll always sip on this for every single one of my workouts. Now next off, I'll do a bench movement, which is going to be a tricep extension. The reason why I use a bench is because it reduces the amount of body language happening. What that means is like I'm not swinging my body and relying on my body too much to push the weight. As you can see, it's mainly focused on those triceps. It gives a really good burn and you can go nice and heavy without jeopardizing too much form. For this exercise, I will hit 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. I'll try and go as heavy as I possibly can. Then I'll follow that with a loaded stretch. That means putting the muscle under tension for around 90 seconds on the dot. This will make sure that there is a maximum muscle fiber recruitment happening, which is then going to enhance growth. Then moving on to the next exercise, I'm actually supposed to do cable crossovers, but because there wasn't a machine available, I decided to use the exact same machine I have and just do one at a time. This is perfect for really targeting those triceps, specifically in this position, because again, there's not going to be a lot of body language. As you can see, however, I am getting depleted, so I had to drop the weight to ensure that my elbow isn't moving too much back and forth and I'm using a lot of my arm. Now with this specific exercise, I did 1 set of a strip set. So there'll be 10, 15, 20 with no break in between. This allows total burnout for the muscle and it's going to give you a dirty pump. Now we move on to biceps. Okay, so the first exercise that I'll start off with is a machine. You can see that there's a pad behind my tricep. Now what this allows for isolation to happen, because there's absolutely no body language, no swinging, and it really isolates the muscle. I will do about 12 to 15 reps with this specific exercise, again to get blood flow going, to get a pump, to warm up those biceps for the next lift, which is going to be a lot heavier. Now this exercise in particular is 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps. Remember, when doing this exercise and any other bicep exercise, you want to try and get a deep stretch, as deep as you possibly can. Next up, I'll do 3 sets of 8 to 12 bicep single arm pre-chicos. This is perfect to overload the bicep, to go nice and heavy, because once again you are isolating that with a pad in the back, so there's no movement happening and you really are targeting. This is great to overload, to go nice and heavy, to get some really good growth happening. Now for the final exercise of the session, I will do some leaning forward cable curls. This is so good for getting that squeeze. You want to make sure that you keep your elbows nice and back. Okay, you don't want to swing your shoulders forward and your elbows moving forward. You want to use the biceps entirely. Now this, I will do 3 sets
of 12 to 15 reps to get that final bit of blood flow moving into the muscle, getting a deep stretch. I don't want to go too heavy because then I will sacrifice form. And that is basically the entire arm day finished and done. Now at this current stage in the lean mass method, my rest period between sets is 90 seconds. Now that may completely change depending on how close I get to the depletion phase.
That was an absolute banger of a session. Like honestly, I think one of the best arm days I've had, one of the best pumps I've had. Really felt good. Listening to some freaking awesome tunes as well. You know when you get that song playing and you got a good pump and you just walk around and you feel like literally unstoppable. You just like, if I had a hoodie, if I had a cap, I would just keep my eyes down and just walk like this. That's that kind of feeling that I'm feeling right now. Damn, that was a good one. That's one for the books for sure. Okay, that is the second cheat meal of the week done. Decided to have a pizza. Absolutely smashed that pizza. It was brilliant. We won the rugby, so that was good. But I'm off on my way home now. Gonna chill, I'll do a bit of work, chill for the rest of the day, and then yeah, I'll see you guys for the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys found value. Like, subscribe, let me know if there's anything you're struggling with and see what we can do. Cheers.